Today we're diving into The Shadows Between Us, a fantasy story about a girl who plans to seduce the king, marry him, and then kill him to take his throne. But the king? He's hiding dark secrets of his own. And what starts as a power play quickly turns into something way more twisted than romance. Meet Alessandra. Sharp mind, sharper knife, and enough confidence to make even the most powerful men sweat. She's not your typical heroine. She's not trying to survive the system. She's trying to rule it. Her plan? Seduce the Shadow King, marry him, and then kill him. That's it. That's the whole strategy. But here's the part people forget. Alessandra has already murdered before. Yep, her first love, dead, stabbed right through the heart the moment he got a little too close. And she didn't cry. She got bored. She's the kind of girl who sees a royal wedding not as a fairy tale, but as a hostile takeover. And honestly, it's kind of refreshing. She doesn't care about being good, she cares about being powerful. She wants the throne, the riches, the influence, and if she has to wear a corset and smile to get it, so be it. But no plan ever goes unchallenged. And hers runs straight into a man made of shadows, a king who rules without ever lifting a finger or letting anyone close. He's untouchable, mysterious, dangerous, and worst of all, not so different from her. But the thing about monsters, they recognize their own. And for Alessandra, that might be the real problem. He's known only as the Shadow King. No one's ever seen his face. No one's ever touched him. And no one dares to challenge him. Why? Because the last time someone tried, they died. Horribly. He rules the kingdom with a cold calm and literal darkness swirling around him like a protective mist. It's giving emotionally unavailable, but in a magical way. His enemies disappear. His allies don't ask questions. And the court? It bows, smiles, and keeps its daggers out of sight. But here's where things get disturbing. Beneath the charm, the court, and the silk-lined mystery, this man is traumatized. He wears shadows because once someone tried to kill him, and ever since he's decided, no one touches him. Physically, emotionally, nothing. He's locked himself behind enchantments, power, and perfectly calculated silence. And it works, until Alessandra shows up. Like a walking hurricane in high heels. She doesn't care about the danger. She wants what he has. And that makes her interesting. He starts inviting her to private dinners, asks for her opinions on politics, laughs, barely, smirks, frequently, trusts her, never. But somehow she keeps getting closer. And if you're thinking, wait, why would the literal Shadow King fall for the one girl who's planning to kill him? Simple, he sees himself in her. Ruthless, calculated, lonely, and maybe, just maybe, he likes the idea of someone who doesn't flinch when he's being terrifying. But let's be real. This isn't romance, it's chess. And both players have knives hidden under the table. And just when you think they might be falling in love, she kisses him and discovers what's been hiding underneath all that shadow. And no, we don't mean metaphorically. So she kisses him. Bold, right? Except instead of a spark or a swoon, the shadows around him lash out like a beast in chains. They wrap around her neck, her wrists, her body, like some dark, ancient instinct trying to push her away or pull her in. It's not romance, it's danger with good cheekbones. And somehow, Alessandra likes it. She backs off, sure, but she's not afraid. She's intrigued. Because now she knows the shadows aren't just magic. They're him, his trauma, his armor, his protection, and maybe his curse. So what does our girl do? She tries again, flirting like it's a war strategy, showing up in dresses made to kill, testing boundaries like a scientist with no ethics board. And what does he do? He lets her. Bit by bit, the Shadow King starts letting his walls crack. He lets her touch his hand. Once. He tells her secrets. Barely. He even smiles. The real kind. Just once. And when he does, it's the kind of moment that would make any other girl melt. But Alessandra? She's calculating the exact second she'll slip a dagger between his ribs. Because here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. This isn't enemies to lovers. It's predator versus predator. And the only question is, who strikes first? And the more he trusts her, the more dangerous she becomes. Because for the first time in her life, Alessandra's not playing a game she fully controls. And whether she wins or loses, someone's going to bleed. But then something happens that Alessandra never planned for. She starts to feel something. And it's not power, it's actual feelings, which for her might be even more terrifying. Alessandra came to court with one plan: kill the king, take the throne, look fabulous doing it. Before we continue with this video, I want to ask for your help. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month, so I'd really appreciate if you would subscribe and help me out. Okay, let's continue. But now she's catching feelings. And not just the stabby kind. Worse, he might actually trust her. And just like that, she starts hesitating. The blade in her boot suddenly feels heavier. The poison in her dresser just sits there, untouched. And you can feel it, right? That moment when the predator gets too close to their prey and forgets which one they are. Meanwhile, the rest of the court, absolutely not helping. It's a toxic wonderland of fake smiles, veiled threats, and more backstabbing than a reality show reunion special. Jealous noblemen, spiteful ladies-in-waiting, assassination plots baked into dinner invitations. And in the middle of it all, Alessandra, pretending she still doesn't care about the king she was supposed to kill. But let's get something straight. This girl doesn't do damsel in distress. She plays the game harder than anyone, planting rumors, blackmailing nobles, and bending alliances like they're paper cranes. And still, there's that feeling again. The way he looks at her, the way he listens, the way he, God forbid, opens up. He's vulnerable, but not weak. And that terrifies her more than any enemy she's ever faced. Because if she loves him, she can't kill him. And if she doesn't kill him, what's left of the girl who came here to conquer? But just when she thinks things can't get messier, a secret from the king's past comes crawling out of the dark, and this time, it might be his turn to get stabbed in the back. So, remember that shadowy past the king keeps so carefully hidden? Yeah, it doesn't stay hidden. Someone from the inner circle wants him dead. Like, urgently. Not in a poetic dagger under the pillow way, but in a very real, very bloody coup kind of way. And Alessandra? She finds out just in time to stop it. She could have let it happen. Let the traitors take him out and waltz over his body to the throne, but she doesn't. Instead, she fights for him. Actually fights, with daggers and grit and teeth and that signature I look great while bleeding energy, and he sees it. For the first time, the king realizes she's not just playing. She's choosing him. Over power, over her own plan, over herself. It should be romantic. But honestly, it's kind of disturbing how much blood had to be spilled for these two to trust each other. And then, the moment. She saves him, he lives, and instead of claiming the throne for herself, she gives it back to him. Why? Because the Alessandra who walked into this castle was hungry for power. But the Alessandra standing here now, she's still hungry. Just not for a crown. She wants something else, something scarier, something way more complicated. She wants him, not just the king, but the man behind the shadows. So, after all the lies, the plotting, and the near deaths, do they finally get their happily ever after? Or is this just a prettier version of mutual destruction, with better outfits? The war is over. The crown still rests on the king's head. And Alessandra? She could have taken everything. But instead, she walks away with something worse. Feelings. Real ones. The kind that don't come with titles or thrones or death threats neatly wrapped in lace. And the Shadow King? He finally lets her in. Literally. No more hiding behind shadows. No more flinching from touch. He drops the magic, the fear, the distance, and just lets himself be held. For the first time, they're not strategizing, not seducing, not lying. They're just two broken, clever people trying to figure out how to love each other without killing each other. And that's what makes the story so disturbingly good. Because it shouldn't be romantic. But it is. Because somewhere between manipulation and vulnerability, between poison and poetry, they find something real. Not soft, not sweet, but honest. And in a world this sharp, that might be the rarest thing of all. So yeah, the shadows between us might look like your typical fantasy romance, but underneath the dresses and daggers, it's a twisted little tale about power, pain, and the terrifying risk of actually caring about someone. Because sometimes, the most disturbing thing of all is not the plan to kill the king. It's what happens when you don't. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more twisted love stories, dark queens, and morally questionable main characters. We love them, even when we probably shouldn't.